is high drama preaching to the choir. Terrell Alvin McCraney's Choir Boy, directed by Trip Coleman, is about a prep school Drew for African Americans where class matters between legacy and scholarship students and how it affects who leads the choir. Ferris is desperate to be choir leader and a Drew man, but actions work against him. Can he overcome them? He has to deal with Bobby, who is the headmaster's nephew and is just a thorn in his side, and his friend David, a very complex relationship. The only real true friend, and the only really, just Anthony, is this wonderful character. It's so nice to see a completely, totally decent, nice guy. You don't see that very often. Not overly, just not heroic, not superpower, just a real mensch. I just love the character of Anthony. I know everyone else was very dramatic and everything, but just to see a good guy on stage just got to me. Anyway, the cast is amazing, and it's just to see all the tensions and everything with these young men and all the things that are at stake and parents and the whole class system and all with African Americans. And this is a guy that got the Moonlighting best Oscar, so this is going to be something special.
And from an African American Academy, we go to the magical wizarding world of Hogwarts for the second generation. Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, based on an original story by J.K. Rowling, also with Jack Thorne and John Tiffany. And here, Harry, it's 20 years after the battle for Hogwarts. Harry is married and a father. We're allowed to say that.
I don't know. Here's the thing, okay? I want to give people a heads up before we even get going.
Oh, okay.
We really can't talk about this because they say don't give away the secrets. Now, I know I had a kid that looked exactly like Harry Potter, and I tried to read the damn books, but I really didn't get into it. So I have no idea what the secrets are we're supposed to keep. So we're really not going to talk about anything, except that the British cast, the original British cast, are only going to be there till March. And you still have Hermione, Weasley, and Harry, and now their kids are all going to Hogwarts. Yeah, so we're still with high school
So
kids.
it's like, can Harry learn to become a good father? In the books, he learned to become a good wizard, but can he be a good father? That's part of what this is about.
Yeah, and also the kids having to deal with their father's reputation.
Yeah, famous fathers. How do you deal with that and become your own person?
And I think the secrets will make you happy, whatever the hell they are.
Yeah, and we should also warn you that it is very scary and environmental. And some younger children, although they might want to see it, might be a little too freaked out. Because we were jumping out of our seats.
Yeah, but there's some great special effects.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited. I think I could say that my friend Jess Barber, not my friend, but a downtown actor, Jess Barbagalow, was one of the students in it. And it's got some just cool stuff. It's like, you want to know what the play's about? No, you want to find out what the secrets are? Go see it, basically. Yeah. So, and we saw it all in one day, which was really even more fun. It's like, it really is like a holiday. And I'm a mess right now because I've just spent the whole weekend at Broadway Con, and there was a panel with the Harry Potter people. So not this show because I'm too out of it this show. I'm a mess with my cold and everything. But eventually I will show you before they leave town them talking about not being able to talk about it. So it's kind of ridiculous. We can't really review something that you can't talk about. But we can
say you'll enjoy it. Yes. And it's really exciting. And this one lives up to the hype.
I really flipped for the prom, and the playbill's going to be flipping a lot right now, and we're still in high school land. So, Mark, flip the first time and take it away.
Yeah, it's a new musical book by Bob Martin and Chad Beguilin, music by Matthew Sklar, lyrics by Chad Bigelin and directed and choreographed by Casey Nicola. A group of very egotistical New York actors descend upon a Midwest town in order to help what they think is help a young lesbian who is in trouble because she wants to bring her girlfriend to the prom, and there might be no prom at all because some of the bigoted people in the PTA are not into that. To me, this felt like a bit dated. If it were set maybe 15 or 20 years ago, I would have felt like this is really very accurate. But since it's supposed to be...
and this is a true story.
Yeah, since if it's supposed to be super contemporary, it just doesn't really work. The attitudes, even for the Midwest, I think are too in the past. But the performers were really great. And Beth Level, who's the main star, was sick the day we went. We saw her understudy, Kate Murilli, who was brilliant. And
yeah, I mean, she didn't even have all... It was funny because it's like... there was an understudy, and I was talking to two people in the audience for some reason. I said, "Oh, don't worry, that understudy's a small part, and as long as Beth Level's there, you're fine." And then we find that then Brooks Ashkenazi and Christopher Sieber come on and say, in their costumes, and they say, you know, that Beth Level, you know, she tried to have the show go on, but I guess she was really, really ill, and she couldn't do it. So they were scrambling to get the understudy at the last minute. I don't think she had all of the fittings of her costumes yet, because she was like in the same outfit the longest time. But she was like amazing. It's like, you know, I mean, you could see Beth Level in the part, and I am coming back February 6th. I'm going to go see it with Beth Level.
Lucky girl.
Exactly. But it's still, she was incredible. I mean, she was like Shirley MacLaine being thrown into whatever it was. Pajama Gang with the steam heat. I mean, we saw a star in the making.
Yeah, and again, I didn't think the musical was all that wonderful, but it's quite competent, and the music is quite hummable, and the performers are really great. So maybe just in comparison to a lot of other things, this is quality.
But see, unlike you, I mean, I'm as a straight female, unlike you, I did not find it dated at all. I mean, that's the thing it's like, you know, with the creature in the White House we got now, that unfortunately it is...
There is a backlash.
There's a backlash. It is relevant because now it's like, you know, unless you're like a, you know, white Ku Klux Klan guy, you know, they're the ones that tend to be ruling things around right now, throwing their weight around because they had that top honcho giving them the opportunity to do that. So yeah, but this is a sweet little story, and it is moving to see this young girl standing up for just a simple thing of, you know, and but the girl she's in love with is not as brave as her, and you know, and there's that wonderful song, "I Just Want to Dance with You." I mean, that song just makes everyone cry. And then the Brooks character, he's the best of all because, you know, he never got to go to the prom, and you really gotta, you know, part of the suspense to me was, is he gonna get to go to the prom or not? You know,
I don't know.
And help these people out.
Hokey and annoying.
Well, yeah.
But well done.
Yeah, see, this is not for you. This is, you know...
It's too sweet for me.
Exactly. This is Mr. Curmudgeon here. Well, for me, I loved it, and I thought it was just, you know, I was really getting into it, and there's some great numbers in it, I must say. And, of course, you know it's going to be schmaltzy, because Bob Martin did The Drowsy Chaperone. And,
which I liked a lot more.
And Michael Potts, as Mr. Hawkins, the principal of the school, he's madly in love with the Beth Level character because of her act, you know, this, he used to
One of her first great performances.
Yeah, and he's a real theater nerd, and he has this wonderful song about how special theater is. So it's like, and then you have the over-the-top theater people. Anyway, I really enjoyed this immensely. I enjoyed it so much. I'm glad I get to see it a second time.
I'm giving it happy face minus, but again, I think most people will enjoy it more than I did. The American Son of Christopher Demos Brown's play is a young 18-year-old guy who's of mixed parentage. His mother's black, his father's white.
And he's just graduated from high school,
so
keeping with the high school theme.
So he should be going to a really bright future in college, but he's now missing. His mom is at the police station causing a ruckus, and the white police officer is not going to give her any real information. When the father comes and he's a white guy, of course the policeman gives him more information.
Also, Steve Pasquale plays the husband, and Kerry Washington is the mother, and Jerry Jordan is a young police officer. You know, he's a rookie, so he's not quite sure what the so he's
what
trying
the real procedure.
So he's trying. No, he knows he's just trying to stick to the procedures, even though part of him is feeling bad about the situation. But he feels he has to stick to the procedures, and he'd rather the officer who's coming in deal with it. And Steve Pasquale is an FBI agent, so he knows the ropes himself. So, carry on.
Yeah.
And we should explain. Mark hated this. I love this, so there's going to be lots of arguing.
Well, again, I felt the whole purpose of the play was to get discussion about Black Lives Matter and issues about police treatment of young black men. And I didn't feel it was at all convincing as a drama. I thought it was really badly written. I thought it was, like nothing that happened surprised me, and I was just waiting for the ending.
Well, see, to me, I was just caught up in the whole emotions of everything, especially, black, white, it doesn't matter. You're a mom. At one point she's saying, she couldn't sleep at night worrying about her black son, And I'm sorry, but I worry about my Jewish kid. It's like,
of course, every mother worries.
Every mother worries, especially.
But that doesn't make it convincing theater.
Well, it does to me because it's a real emotion. It's not convincing to you because you don't feel those things.
I feel it, but I didn't feel it was justified here. I mean, there are a lot of other plays that might get me to feel more emotional about a mother's potential loss than something that just seems like it's cribbed together to make some political statement for people to talk about.
Oh, see, I didn't feel political at all about it. I know you're supposed to feel the whole black and white thing, but to me it was universal. To me, that was a mom worrying about her kid. And that was all it was to me.
Well, it just didn't resonate.
And being frustrated.
On a human level, it didn't resonate with me at all.
And with being frustrated with rules and regulations and, and being made to feel invisible. There's nothing worse than being made to feel invisible when you're upset about something. And, I thought this was really good, and I was crying at the end, and I know in his...
It doesn't take her much to make her cry.
And in his written review, he says, what was that? It was funny. It was mean, but funny. I had a laugh. I did. So the trained seal that we gasped and cried.
Yes, you were crying graphs on cue like trained seals begging for fish.
Yes. Even though
I hated it.
Even though at least he was funny about it.
But again, the acting is good, and the issues are important ones. But still, I hated it as a play.
Oh, I guess it gets mixed because I get the happy, you get the unhappy.
The Waverly Gallery, written by Kenneth Lonergan, directed by Leila Neugebauer, stars Elaine May as a politically activist leftist lawyer who now in her 80s has been running a gallery in the village for quite a while, but she's beginning to lose her mind, and her young grandson, who's about 20, college-age guy,
high school,
is taking care of her, and also there's a weekly dinner with her daughter and the daughter's husband, and second husband, and a young artist from out of state who comes into the gallery, ends up getting a show and living there, and it becomes another kind of family, and this really rang true emotionally to me. The characters were very believable. I really cared about them. I was really deeply moved to see her deterioration.
It was his turn to cry. Yes, I mean, when the play was over, I'm like, to Mark, you cried?
Well, this I felt deserved my tears and will deserve yours too.
I was looking for a pig flying. I mean, really, that shows you how good this is. Elaine May was so wonderful in this. You just really just loved her, and you just like, oh, you just felt so bad because she's this bright, intelligent person, and to lose her mind and be more, and all she could think about is, did the dog get fed? Did the dog get fed? And you can see everyone's, trying to deal with this, and they love her, but they're exasperated by her, and they, you kind of wish it would end, but you don't want it to end. And then the gallery, and this is like an autobiographical play from Kenneth Lonergan. This really was his grandmother, and so maybe that's why it feels so real to you and emotional.
Yeah, and the cast is phenomenal. Lucas Hedges, who I know from the movie Manchester by the Sea, is brilliant as the grandson. Michael Cera is really very convincing as the somewhat clueless but very likable artist. Joan Allen always does a remarkable job as the daughter who's kind of stuck in the middle.
It was nice to see her on stage again.
Yeah, and David Cromer, who I know as a director, is a really, really fine actor. And they're believable as a family. And Michael Cera kind of fits into this family group very well. So it's like total theatrical pleasure to watch this.
But it's not just about the family, it's about the family legacy, because the Waverly Gallery has been with this, and she keeps talking about her husband that died, that she keeps thinking is alive, and the whole sad thing about what happens to this old mom and pop place and the changing neighborhood, and it just brings up all this, emotions.
Yeah, it's like you can't hold on to the past. Things are always changing.
And it's interesting because Joan Allen, who was in the original, burned this, and they're bringing This back again. So this is the play to see. We both like it.
I think so. It's great.
Although he was crying. Another jukebox musical is on right now, The Cher Show, with book by Rick Elise and choreography by Christopher Gattelli and directed by Jason Moore. Like the recent Donna Summer show, we get 3 ages of Cher and her rise to fame and romance with Sonny and others, all the while wearing fabulous Bob Mackie clothes. And the thing is this, it's like, I always thought for some reason she was a Native American. I didn't realize she was Armenian.
Yeah.
And it was also, those Bob Mackie clothes were just amazing. And you learn about Cher and all that, and I forgot I liked so many of her songs. I didn't realize I'm a big Cher fan. And Stephanie J. Block and the other 2 Chers were really good. Let's see. There was Teal Wicks and Marcella Diamond, and Jared Spector played Sonny, and Emily Skinner played the mom. And the mom kept giving wonderful advice. And Bob Mackie, Robert Altman, and Frank were all played by Michael Baresi. This was a great cast. It was a lot of fun. But, warning, the finale is so light, just beyond disco lighting. It was so intense that I don't know how it ended. Because I'm like this, and I saw it with Lottie, and she couldn't, the lights were too much for her too. So so this is not good for people, like with that besides
vertigo or any kind of light sensitivity.
Yeah, anxiety, seizures, epilepsy. I don't know, whatever. This was really bad lighting. This was gay. And the thing is, even after it ended, the lighting didn't stop. So, it took me 15 minutes before I could leave the theater because I was like this, because it's like, okay, the show's over. Stop with the friggin' disco ball already. But that did not spoil that I really enjoyed this immensely. Oh my gosh, you will love it.
Jez Butterworth's The Ferryman, directed by Sam Mendes, takes place 10 years after Shamus was disappeared by the IRA. Now his body has turned up in a peat bog. His brother, who's been living with the widow, as well as his own wife and a whole huge extended family, are ready to celebrate harvest time, and it's very much about the effect of this unearthing of the past on the family now. For me, it didn't work, and politically I didn't really like this presenting the IRA as like hoodlum thugs, caricatures, and the grandmother who romanticizes the past patriotism and her quasi-incestuous relationship.
Anyway, we're
with
back
the
to
brother.
normal with him hating it and me liking it, because I normally do not like Jez Butterworth plays, and I didn't pay attention to the whole Irish political stuff at all. To me, it was very Chekhovian with doomed romances, because the widow and the brother, there was some sort of, they seemed more like a married couple.
They're more compatible.
And the wife was like,
A sick woman upstairs like Mary Tyrone.
Yeah, and I couldn't understand how he could still have sex with her when he seemed to like the other one more. And there was a character that reminded me of Lenny from A Mice and Men. And there was like a mother-son tension. Anyway, I really enjoyed this immensely because I saw the human drama. You got sucked in.
I don't know. The human drama seemed like ersatz and taken from other plays, and it just didn't work. I don't really like having a baby used as a prop. The goose, the rabbits, and other things didn't bother me.
Well, see, now it was nice to have the baby like a real baby instead of like a prop baby.
I wonder how many drugs they had to give it to keep it quiet.
Oh, no. Anyway, you saw it politically, and I saw it like human tragedy.
I don't know.
But I'm giving it a happy place.
I like the performers, but I didn't like the play.
And and the original people are going to be leaving soon, and Brian Darcy Jane, Blair Brown, and American cast will be taking over, so see it while you can with the regular folks. And it is a long play, but I did not feel it.
I did. At the cutting room we saw I'm Not a Comedian, I'm Lenny Bruce, written by and starring Ronnie Marmo, directed by Joe Mantegna, and it really is a very interesting play about Lenny Bruce, as well as it includes some of his more famous comedic set pieces. The idea of not a comedian, because some of his stuff is really serious, and he did get in trouble with the law about obscenity and some of his blasphemous comments.
If it weren't for him, we wouldn't have George Carlin or Richard Pryor or Dick Gregory or any of the other comics that came in his way.
Or even Joan Rivers.
Yeah.
So it's...
I know, we hear about his mom, Sally Mays, and his wife, Kitty, and no, the daughter is Kitty, and Honey is the wife.
Honey's the wife.
And you get the swagger, the frustration, and the comedic truth. And I know this guy from General Hospital. So
he was amazing.
He's so good. He really captured Lenny Bruce brilliantly. And there's only one performance left January 30th. But you know what? It might be extended again. So
I think it will be because
it's so good. So check the cutting room.
The audience seems to be really into it.
Yeah, and it's a lovely place. Yeah, it's fantastic. And I'm obsessed with Lenny Bruce. Until January 27th, Gloria Life will be portrayed by Christine Lottie. And after that, Patricia Columber will be coming in. And there will be no performance today, January 19th, because everyone is at the Women's March. And basically, this is Christine Lottie confronting us in a very comfortable circle space, telling us about, go on, Bina, being Gloria Steinem.
This is Gloria Life. It's about Gloria Steinem and the movements and the activism and the feminism she started when she was very, very young. I don't know exactly when, but from the show and from her history and always watching her on television, seemed like all her life she was involved in this movement, which is now has come to a boil now, and it's kind of really, really helped. I was very impressed by her performance. I mean, I sometimes didn't kind of believe physically Christine Lottie doesn't seem like Gloria Steinem, but it's very, very hard to play the real people.
Yeah, you capture the essence.
Yeah, but you capture the essence.
Which you did.
I love that scene where she becomes the Playboy bunny. Yeah. She goes there and she's like, because I have always hated the Playboy Club. I always hated it.
All females do.
Yeah, because I think that was like the beginning or maybe like the middle of all this sexual harassment kind of thing started there.
Objectifying females.
And there were all the rich people, all the rich men always went there and all that stuff, So she goes to do some research, and I think she was fired or something? Or
no, she quit after one day because, she wanted to do real serious political pieces. And she was during the time of Smith where everyone went to college to become married. So it was just shows how the education of a feminist.
Yeah, she was a feminist, and those bunnies, you know, they
Before
were
there was even the word for feminism.
Yeah, exactly.
Or anything like
and
that.
this was not for her, because they're even training the bunnies and all that stuff, and she just like, she comes back.
And she's horrified that that's the one thing that they're always going to think about her instead of all the other brilliant things she's done. I'm giving this a happy face, and if you want to see Christine Lottie, go before January 27th.
Me too, it's a happy face. It's a nicely done. It's like we are in the living room and they are like talking to us, you know, in a very comfortable way. Happy face.
And now where to find the plays that we talked about. And on Facebook, you can always get the longer review. And check out 54 below for all the Scott Siegel events that are going on. And check out Origin's First Irish Festival. There's a lot of different plays going on all over town. And Musicals and Mufti is doing Carmelina, January 27th. They're having a whole learner festival. And 92nd Street Y is back with a bang. Matthew Broderick's going to be there. David Henry Hwang, Lyrics and Lyricists is back. An evening with Maury Yestin. And don't forget to see Gloria Kadigan's Till We Meet Again at 14th Street Y. And you got Ionesco Suite going on at BAM right now. And 59 East 59th Street, on Blueberry Hill, Alone is the Trick or Treat. They all look really good. The Labyrinth Varsity at Cherry Lane. Thunderbird Dancers at Theater for New City. And Blue Ridge Theater closes January 27th. I'm seeing it the 20th. And A Scene Place is doing A Number and Night Mother, and that's closing on January 20th, and we always love them. And you can see these reviews on our Facebook page. Some parody productions that are closing. I mean, not closing, but are going. Don't forget to pick up your Performing Arts Insider, the cultural heartbeat of New York City. Our next show is February 2nd. And you can go to our Facebook page to read reviews, Twitter, 6 Second Review, and YouTube, Eva Heinemann, where we put all of our shows. And I woke up this morning to the sad news about Carol Channing. We'll talk about it more on our next show, but my gosh, I can't believe she's gone.